Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 264. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I wanted to kind of talk more about raising your standards for yourself and deciding who you want to become. The same old stuff that we talk about every single day, except just in a few different ways. So I want you to make a list of your priorities and a list of your distractions and be aware of what they are. I think that when we know where we're going, we can get there a lot faster, right? Than just haphazardly traveling through life. We can decide, hey, what are my priorities? And I talked with a couple people today about how helpful it is for them to show up for themselves and how much better they feel as a person in general, just showing up for themselves. And I'm real big on this, especially this year, setting these really high standards for myself and not lowering them. We tend to do that for other people. We tend to decide, oh, this is what I want, and then someone crosses a boundary or whatever the case is, and we let ourselves just kind of dip down back into this identity that we don't even want to be anymore, that we've grown past. I think that's the way to look at it. Like sometimes you've grown past certain dynamics with people, certain areas of your life that you've just grown past and you don't need to, hang back there. So it's like that self one and self two type of thing. It's like the old identity is self one and the new identity is self two. And they're very different frequencies when you think about it. They're like two different radio stations and you can't hear both at the same time. You can only kind of be on one of those frequencies and be able to hear it and pay attention to it. So I am, like I said, really big on setting these standards. So only you can know what that means for you and also showing up for yourself on a daily basis. We've just got to start. If you have some goals in mind that you want to get to, you just got to start. You don't have to know the how. You set a huge standard. Like, what are my biggest priorities that I want to get done? What like a bucket list kind of a thing. What are the fun things you want to do too? Not just maybe business goals and career goals or family goals. It's like everything. What kind of fun do you want to have this year? And start injecting some fun into your days. And that's really big. And you're also training your identity when you do these things, these little steps that you take for yourself. And you say, well, today I'm going to do this. And you actually do it. It's not like, oh, I'm going to start working out and then I'm going to start next week. It's like, no, how about now or tomorrow? Just get something done today or now or tomorrow, very close in proximity of time. Because if we keep saying, I'm going to do this next week, next month, it just kind of turns into, next month, next year. And then it's 5 years down the line and we still haven't started. So I know this all too well. I'll be like, oh, I am going to do this. And I do end up doing it, but it just took me a little longer. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, just start. Just do a little piece of it for 5 minutes a day. That's how I tell some of my clients that have trouble, let's say, cleaning their house, getting, closets cleaned out and decluttered. I'll just say, hey, set a timer for 5 minutes a day and just do something. That way you've made a decision, you prioritized it, you set the timer, you actually did the task. And that means that you showed up for yourself and you prioritize you. You prioritize the way that you feel. Remember, you're not working on things. Those things are working on you so that you become better. And it's all about you, how you want to be. So you get to decide moment to moment how you are creating your life. And I love doing that. I think it's so cool to just decide what kind of life we want to live. And then you just kind of create it step by step. It's so fun. You get to design your life any way you want to design it. So I just have so much fun doing this. Every day I say, I'm the best at what I do and I'm getting better at it every single day. I expect something great to happen to me today. I wonder what it's going to be. I'm so excited to see what happens. And I just kind of stay in that mindset during the day. And of course, meditation really helps me. I think I recommend that to everybody. I do about a 26-minute Joe Dispenza meditation, and I love it. It has just changed. I think it's changed my whole nervous system, really. It has just really helped me over the last few months, especially. And yeah, I was talking to a few people today about living from love instead of fear. And I think sometimes we just like don't prioritize ourselves because, well, we maybe never have done it before, or we don't even know how to do it. And how you would prioritize yourself is you make some decisions and you say, I'm no longer going to do this, and I'm going to do this instead. And then I always have people figure out, what are the barriers to actually showing up for yourself? Is it time? Is it just that you get maybe you procrastinate and you feel like you can't do it or something? And then, we need to remove this barrier before you can even start. Like what are the barriers that are keeping you from becoming your true self? And that's another thing I talked with a couple people today about, being your true self, always speaking what you need to speak, and remembering it's none of our business what other people think. It's just we have to speak our truth and do our part and be ourselves. Because if you dim your light down and you aren't your true self, well, we're not really being honest at that point. And so the relationship we're in, or mostly relationships, I would say, they're kind of built on, fakeness, I guess you could say, or maybe even fear or avoidance, because we're just fearful of being our true selves and how the other person will respond. So remember, whatever you assume as well, the law of assumption, it's like whatever you assume is, that's what's true for you. So you get to change your assumptions at any time that you want to and create from there. So, yeah, it was really big today on communicating what is going on inside of yourself, because a lot of times I think we don't check in. I think some people are scared to feel. I've heard a few people say, I'm scared to feel because I feel like if I start feeling, I'm just never going to stop feeling. And I've heard from multiple sources that these feelings are only supposed to last between like 15 and I think 45 seconds, somewhere around there. And after that, it's just turning into a story. It's judgment. And so I thought, well, if we just practice feeling the feeling when it comes up, and we observe what story we're telling that goes along with that, that's very telling. We know, what story are you carrying with you throughout your day, and how is it affecting you? And what if you just like drop that story and created a new one? How would you feel? So only you is going to know what works for you. You want to become your own data, become your own evidence. You want to prove to yourself how powerful you are, in other words, because my words they're just words. But if you want to try some of these things and start practicing, you're going to start proving to yourself that you can actually do this and that you really are that powerful. We forget how powerful we are. So do not ever let anything outside of you make you feel like you can't achieve something or become something. You don't need to know the how. You just have to decide what it is that you want and believe that you can actually have that or become that. And you will. You'll just slowly, because I love to say, like, I have high standards for myself. What does that look like? And then you make a list and you live from that. You live from that. And that equals your identity. That is a new identity that you're going to create. And once you shift your identity, that's when the real big shifts outside of you are going to happen. It's crazy. Some things happened today that are just going to change my entire life. It was crazy today, but it's because I've shifted internally. And yeah, it can be scary sometimes if we define it as scary, but I look at everything is for my benefit too. That's how I look at everything. I'm like, this is for my benefit. Everything that happens, everything I see today is for my benefit. And it's mutual benefit for everybody around me. It's great. Everything works out for me. I always get what I want. I say these things to myself every day. And or at least when I think about it, I'm always saying some sort of great thing, that makes me feel better. So you get to decide how you think. I want you to always remember that. You get to decide how you program your brain, because it's already programmed. It's pre-programmed. So we've got to program it daily to decide, hey, this is where I'm going. This is who I want to be. And we think and act and believe from that identity. And pretty soon you're there and you're like, whoa, I've shifted. So I got one more exercise. There was this little, oh yeah, here's an exercise you can do too. It's create what's called future memories. So basically you be grateful for what you want as if you already have it. We talk about that, of course. And you say, thank you for this thing that happened today. And so commit to testing it. Write these things out. Like, thank you that this happened. What would happen if like you started writing? They call it scripting. So you script out your day or something that happened to you. And you say, thank you that this happened to me today. This is so awesome. And just write it like every day. Just start writing it. And you say, thank you for this. And pretty soon, like you've created this future memory that you can go back to basically, and think about because if you write something over and over and over every day, your brain is going to remember that you wrote that. And it's actually going to start believing in that feeling that you're creating and generating from inside of you just from writing it. So remember, you can do that with a visualization too. You can create a future memory, basically train your brain and body to think that it's in that future identity before it actually is. And then watch what happens. But commit to testing this for yourself. Just really commit to it, and also commit to checking in with how you're feeling during the day and where your thoughts are. Am I feeling at peace? Decide at the beginning of the day, what's my intention for today? Do I want to feel at peace? And if so, okay, that's what I'm choosing. Today, we're living from peace. So what does that look like for you? What are maybe some activities you can do today that will create peace for you? And then again, you're training your brain, your nervous system, your whole body to relax and feel at peace. And basically that's a future memory really that, you want to feel like in the future. So start practicing it now. And there's one more thing I'll leave you with too about, I was talking to somebody about this, they said, watch in about 6 months, I'm going to be glowing. You're going to see such a difference in me. And I was like, you know what? Glow now. Don't wait to glow. Glow now. Glow up now. You don't want to wait for other things to change outside of you to become that person. Become the glowing person now. And all you have to do is create these future memories. Train your brain and body. Live with intention every day. Know that you can have anything you want, be anything you want, do anything you want. Do not let anything outside of you control you ever, ever, ever. It's just a projection of your consciousness anyway. So we're doing it. So if we're doing it and you don't believe you're doing it, commit to practicing this to prove to yourself that you are that powerful. I say this too for fun every day. I'll say, hey, universe, show me how powerful I am. Like, let something happen today to like confirm how powerful I am. And man, that's been working every day this week. I must say, it's very interesting. So commit to yourself that you are going to set these higher standards for you because you deserve it. You're so much more than you even know that you are. So commit to you and you'll see what happens outside of you. And I'll leave you with that tonight. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Valentine's Day weekend. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow, so I'll see you then. But please remember you are so loved. Pass it on to anybody who needs to hear that today or tonight. And please share this information with anybody else who might want to hear this or might benefit from it in some way. And what's the other thing I say? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Appreciate yourself because what you appreciate appreciates. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.